Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to the Salty Saga, where the Austro-Hungarian Empire have offered us an alliance if we pay them $200 million, and they can go sing for it. Ding Rushang, head of the Italian Navy, because of course I am playing with random AI personalities, is spending too much in interesting. I'm assuming that's a Chinese gentleman. In charge of Italy. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun nonsense. The refitted Siegfried class battleships are now ready, so that means we can continue moving ships over to the North Sea to try and put some pressure on the British. Yeah, move them to Emden. And I am going to leave some ships in Kiel just in case they get funny. But of course, I'm not at war with the British at the moment. I'm at war with the French, which is why I'm moving everything to Emden. I'm just anticipating war with the British because we have -90 relations with them. And of course, if I put everything in Emden, they have the best chance of engaging a French fleet. Oh, that's the low prestige prompt. Thanks. Didn't realise that. Let's have a quick look, actually. Yeah, naval prestige -27. You're absolutely right. Well, we've got 2 convoys. Oh, wow. Okay. A chance to see our refitted battleships in action against 2 French battleships, which I seem to remember are not the best. But they certainly have bigger guns than us. Well, this could be interesting. Oh, I've tried doing a campaign where you don't build any capital ships. The problem is the way the power projection mechanic works. You will be blockaded. It's the five megawatts. Yeah, I know. You wait till you see them. They're odd. Anyway, these refitted ships. Let's see how they perform. I'm not expecting huge things from them, but they should at least perform a little bit better than the AI's initial attempt at designing these. I wouldn't quite call them Super Dreadnought with only the 13-inch guns, but kind of in that vein. They're not too shabby. Yeah, that's exactly what will happen. You can have as many light cruisers and destroyers as you want, but you'll get blockaded if you don't have battleships. It's sadly not currently viable to do a small ship only campaign. You need at least battle cruisers, I reckon. Yeah, they are a bit like a standard. Don't have as big a guns as a standard. Only the 13.1 inch. And here's a Frenchie. They certainly have bigger guns, so we'll just have to see how things go. A couple of hits there. Washington Treaty game. That could be interesting. The problem is that AI is not bound by the terms of the treaty. So, you know, you're pretty stuffed. Although these would count as treaty ships. They are under the displacement and they have smaller guns. But of course, the Washington Treaty was simply a ban on all ships the 35,000 tons or 36, I can never remember, and the 14-inch guns. That was the London Naval Treaty. So if you want to do a full Washington challenge playthrough, start in 1920, auto-generate your fleet, and you're not allowed to build any new capital ships until a war breaks out with you in it. Yeah. These poor quality steel that these French ships use, able to rapidly turn them into scrap metal. They have said that one of the things for the full release of the game that they do want to bring in is some form of treaty system if you lose a war, or it fires as an event or something. They did talk about that being a thing that will be in the final version of the game, or at least that was their intention. But it'll be dynamic. It won't be like, okay, Washington Treaty applies. I think you'll be able to negotiate maximum caliber and displacement and possibly tonnage ratios as well, which was of course actually the main thing about those treaties. But they did talk about that a long time ago now. But that was something that they did want to bring in, some form of treaty system, so that you do have design limitations on your ships. There we go. 2 French battleships sent to the bottom. Turned out to be fairly easy. Barely took any damage in return. Yes. How much are those Danton class? 47 million. Which is the exact same price as the Siegfrieds. So I'm very pleased with that. Those refitted ships are certainly capable. No, they're not adding CVs. No way. The only way they'd add CVs is if they did an expansion pack, a very old term, like a big DLC. I think it would make a lot more sense for them to do a completely new Ultimate Admiral game. Take Dreadnoughts, like the core of it, and then change the year. Like, move it from 1890 to 1950 and move it to have a sequel. 1950 to 1990 or something like that, or 2000. And have a Harpoon-like game. Because as soon as you introduce carriers, battleships you're going to be completely sidelined. And the whole point of the game is designing battleships. And there's not much to design with a carrier. No offense to carriers. It's like big, flat flight deck. Engines. AA. That's it. But no, they've said on many occasions that carriers will not... Certainly they won't be in the 3D battles. Not even planes are going to be in the 3D battle engine. Because to put planes into the game, they would have to completely... Like, they'd have to write new physics. It'd be a huge amount of work to get planes in. So I think that is it is a no. Right, an Admiral Shear class, which I am not very impressed with, against a Foch class and some transports. But yes, I think if they once they get Dreadnoughts done, they could go Ultimate Admiral carrier or something. Although you probably wouldn't call it that. But yeah, go for modern naval combat, which is centered around carrier air groups. you know, your carrier fleets, where you have submarines that are fast enough to actually, you know, cause serious problems to surface fleets. But it would be mostly about air, power, and missiles, and things like that. And you wouldn't really care about battleships at all. Although they might throw in, you know, the Iowas were obviously floating about into the 80s and early 90s. So they might consider having battleships as a thing. But it's going to be centered around carriers. Yeah, I'd love to ignore the cruiser and go for the transports, but it's so early, and this thing is so slow, that probably won't happen. As I've said many times, I would love the option to wipe the transports if you take out its escort. But we'll try. Let's have a look at this thing. Yes. Oh, my torpedo exploded early. Of course it did. But yeah, I think there's definitely an interesting game, which is Ultimate Admiral, but with carriers. But that is a different game. I think is my point. You wouldn't have the same enjoyment. I think it would be a bad move for the game to include carriers. I think that takes away from the core kind of gameplay experience, core gameplay loop for Dreadnoughts. Not to say you couldn't make a fantastic game based around carriers, but I think it has to be a different one. Well, I'm trying to go for the transports. According to the RDF, they're over there somewhere. Yeah, shore bombardment, but I mean, shore bombardment is a niche role. That's why you don't see monitors in Dreadnoughts, for instance, because, you know, they weren't designed for surface combat. You know, Dreadnoughts is at the moment purely a open sea combat game. You know, you don't have torpedo like little PT boats. You don't really have, you know, you don't have shore bombardments or naval invasions or anything like that at the moment either. At least we found a transport. Shoot it. And, you know, it's a very small dev team. And when you have a small dev team, you need to maintain your focus. Because you don't want to have a huge to-do list that you never get finished. You want the game to ship, you need to ship features that add things to the game and don't detract from your core experience. I think in general the dev team has done a very good job of maintaining that focus. And as soon as you start going off into carriers, that's or you know, shore bombardments, things like that, and as well, you know, they've got this really tight focus that you are playing the head of the navy. You are not running the whole country, because as soon as you start straying into trying to simulate everything about a country and complicated politics and economic models and stuff like this, you're trying to build Vicky 3 on top of Dreadnoughts, and you're going to get lost. And, you know, yeah, it'd be lovely to have all this complicated extra stuff, but is it worth it? And that's a really important thing to be able to go, no, yeah, that would be cool, but the amount of work needed to do it compared to what players are going to get out of it is it's not a good choice. So we're not doing it. It's hard as when you're developing something to do that, but I think that's a good sign in general. Right, where did that cruiser go? Because he sunk the transports. There he is. Yeah, I think PT boats would make sense. Like, you could build little PT boats that defend your ports, but it's a nice to have. I don't think it's an essential part of like I'm not like super sad about them not being in the game. You know, it's mainly the game's mainly about ocean going stuff, which is completely fair. But I mean, they've already got huge things that they need to add. So they did talk about land combat. Again, that's going to be abstracted, but there'll be some. They're talking about some progress in the background, kind of thing, in terms of the war, and you know, you need to make sure the convoys get to the fronts and things like that. Like, again, that could be interesting, but it'll be abstracted. It'll be something that, as the Admiral of the Navy, you need to, you know, support the land operations, but you're not going to be suddenly seeing Age of Sail style, where... Oh, take a torpedo. Dud, obviously. Where you're suddenly commanding land units as well. You know, Dreadnoughts is not Empire Total War. Much though I'm sure people would love it to be, that is too big. That's too big a scope. That's too much. Hey, Calexia. Ideal main battery. I've been thinking a lot about that lately. So for me, it depends on the era of the game. So, assuming you're talking Dreadnoughts, the ABXY dual is extremely good early on. Once you get access to, and it depends on the hull, definitely. Once you get access to triples that don't have any penalties, then I think the ABXY is slightly better, because it has a shorter citadel. The AB quad is good, but not as good, in my opinion. And the other one that I think is good if you can get it on the ship without compromising, because it is very heavy, is the ABXY triple, the kind of US standard style 12 gun ship. Those are kind of the go-to layouts. Yes, you can fiddle around with the Q turret for a 10-gun ship. You know, A, B, Q, X, Y duels can work. The AQX can work. The ABXYZ, yeah, there's like one or two hulls that can do that. Have a super duper firing triple pair, like a triplet on the stern of the ship. Certainly works. Yeah, but you know, the classics, ABXY duels, ABX triples. Once you get the good triple techs, they work. They're good. They're solid. And I think if you're just starting the game, those are the best best ones to try and go for. But again, it depends on the hull. Some hulls are weird, and you end up with ABN set like a Nelson style. Sometimes you end up with a V turret, with a turret tucked behind the X turret. There's all sorts. But yeah, nice and tight in the center of the ship. ABXY or ABX. Generally your kind of go-to designs. Yeah, of course, the best is the Teefarer, which is an ABC super firing triplet of quad 20-inch guns, all forward. It's just superior to everything, but sadly was patched out. Every time you've been able to have like crazy stuff like that, they fixed it. Which is a shame. Right, what are we getting cruiser design wise? No, well, oh no, hello. The Advanced Armoured Cruiser 1 and the Modern Heavy Cruiser 2. Interesting. So we might be able to do some designing next month. Alright, Silent Service, thank you for dropping by. Asymmetric like en echelon firing turrets. Yeah, those are tricky. There's like one or two hulls that you can kind of do it with. Not that you really want to, but okay, Italy and Austria are kind of on our side. Oh, hello. Italy's joined the war on our side. Well, we're not allied or anything, but they've gone to war with France. That will keep them distracted. And we have turbo electric drive, and we have the new cruisers. And we have a ton of battles. Battleship versus battleship. Two of them. 2 battleship duels. 3 battleship duels. Destroyer squadron against a light cruiser and a DD. And yet more battleship duels. Hang on, France only has 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I think they've deployed 4 of their battleships in 1 turn. Ooh. Okay, I think I'm going to do the I've done some battles already this episode, so I'm going to do these next episode. But I am going to do the designs just now because it'd be nice to have a little bit of design work first, and can kind of think about that. So we've got the Modern Heavy Cruiser 2, which is the mini mark, but we have the Advanced Armoured Cruiser. Now I love this ship, and we also get the Advanced Armoured Cruiser 2. So I'm thinking the Advanced Armoured Cruiser 1 is going to be our mid-tier cruiser with 9-inch guns. So we've got the Deutschlands with the 7-inch guns. The Gneisenau or Gneisenaus, they're going to have 9s. That's my plan. 70,000 tons is pretty chunky, but I can go with it. If I had to redo the Division 3 battles for the Battleship League, I'm assuming you're talking about, how do you think a Tennessee would do a rematch with their in real life? I don't know. We might go back and do some of that later. Oh, the Valkyrie? Done. The Valkyrie class. Right. Let's get to designing. Now, I love these triangular towers. I think they are so cool looking. Might as well go for the good one. The best one, I mean. And then the secondary tower. Oh yeah, this one is significantly better. Put it, I think, right there. Should be okay. Now, when I say, oh, go on the hull. See, this has no built-in barbettes. That to me means probably going to go ABX triple. So I only have to put in one barbette. Go for 9 9-inch guns. Like so. And that gives me huge forward offset issues. Yeah, this hull can be tricky to balance. Because that quarterdeck, you can be full. 12. I can work with 12%. We can fix it later. Do I have good triples yet? They're not the best, but they're okay. I think we have the improved ones, so they don't have no penalties. I think they're the -5 percenters. Right, secondaries. Would be nice if we could get 5-inch guns, but yeah, they're all Mark 3s. I think they're just slightly too big. Go for 4-inch guns. Really? I could put them there as well, but they'll get in the way of the X-turret. you can't put main guns down here. That's part of the reason why. The only thing I don't like about this hull is this quarterdeck, which can cause problems. Normally you can get away with it by putting some secondary guns down there. Or you can put torpedo launchers on the back or something like that, which I might do actually. Yeah, let's put a pair of quad torpedo launchers on the back. That gives us good offset. Right, oil, balanced, gear turbines. All my usual picks. Obviously, we're going to go for a fair amount of protection. Standard ratio, soft cap. Might go soft cap. Yeah, I'm going to go soft cap. Big torps. Oops. Pyrophone. RDF. And funnel. Funnel and speed. That's what I need to think about. 54 smoke. That's pretty good, but I reckon I'm going to have to go with the smallest funnel. Yeah, I am. Even then I have a little bit of smoke interference, but it's not hugely problematic. We get to 30 knots. That's the same as the Deutschlands. Yes, we can. Good. Good. Right. Armouring, because this thing has bugger all armour at the moment. 9-inch guns with 13 inch is fine. I think 12 would be fine, to be honest. What did these things have? 10. Okay. Yeah, no way I'm going to be able to pull that off. 10. 10.5. Oof. Yeah, it's getting the armour in as well. And the other thing I haven't checked is the gun lengths. What are these? 46s. They're okay. Got a very high rate of fire though. What are they at full length? Yeah, the deck pen is shocking. So I think 50's probably going to be a good balance. Yeah, the 50's. 9-inch 50's. And make the 4-inch guns long and fit 2-inch guns in. Yeah, but not many. 6% overweight. It's so heavy. Bulkheads. Bulkheads and that torpedo belt. She can go faster, but I really don't want it. I don't like her being able to go the same speed as the other heavy cruisers is fine by me. Yeah, that armor is okay, but I'm gonna have to noodle it a bit. Yeah, I'm way overweight now. If I bring in everything I want, I'm 10% over. Range is very, very good, so we could try dropping that. 10,000 kilometers is decent. I don't need maximum bulkheads though. There you go. Standard bulkheads is fine. Yeah, no, don't need max bulkheads, no. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the rest will be fiddling around with the position, because we have an half weight offset now, which is not quite what I was expecting. Come on, I must have shifted the turret a little bit, right? There we go. So now she's balanced. Both this turret and this turret can do full rotations, which is quite a nice little extra. Yeah, I think she should do okay. She looked really nice. Thank you. Thank you. I think she'll do all right as our kind of middleweight cruiser. 9-inch guns are pretty decent. You know, her kind of intended targets would be destroyers, enemy light cruisers, and being able to trade blows with enemy heavy cruisers. Plus, she's got the torps for threatening larger targets. Yeah, I think that should work. Because we're going to have another class beyond this on the Advanced Armoured Cruiser 2, which will carry 11-inch guns. That's my plan, anyway. Right, save that. Scary ship for the 1920s, I know. Yeah, if you look at it in terms of that, 30 knots, 9-inch guns, 10-inch belt. In whatever year this is, yeah, 1921. We're going to be producing these. That is nasty. They are expensive. They're our most expensive ship, so I'm not going to be able to produce too many of these, but they are going to be quite powerful, I reckon. I just can't afford to lose them because they're going to be really expensive. Right, how many of the Deutschlands did we build? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll build 5 of these. I'm just going to slap down a builder of 5. Might as well use our war funds to good effect. And I think that is... I think that's it. I don't think we unlocked anything else, did we? Oh, well, yeah, we did. We unlocked the Modern 2 cruiser, the Minimarks. But I'm not a huge fan of that hull. They're fat, heavy, and slow. I tend to find the Advanced Armoured Cruisers just better in general. Even though they have worse hull form, you'd think, oh, these are better. They're just not. And this thing with the 98 resistance. Like, these things are tough. Yeah, I just prefer these. Yeah, just waiting on more new design. No, don't want to keep it. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, those of you on YouTube. And I'll see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, where we'll see if we can reduce the French fleet to scrap. Bye for now.